I think it's I think it's very useful to record because I was watching on YouTube your late, I think from last month, just correct me, Paulina, if it's right, the YouTube record of your last coffee break. And it was so powerful and so interesting. So I think it can be very helpful for all the guides and practitioners.
Wow. Thank you, Mina, for feedback, because we do something and sometimes it is very important to receive feedback.
Yeah, it was very, very, very interesting to me.
Yeah. Okay. So during even our sharing, I've heard that, for example, Bea mentioned about listening hours in person. So maybe someone can share the experience, or please feel free, we can raise any topic.
I want to ask a question to
Sure.
Pembegil. Pembegil, in our last coffee break, I think you told us that you are going to hold your first listening hour online, right?
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, probably.
How was it going? Because I see on social media that you are doing quite often in a regular base. And I want to hear your experience as a guide and how is it going?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Like you said, I did like five sessions in a very short time. And because I was trying to catch another level of training, the guide training. And I did my best. My experience first, three of them was in Turkish. And it was really well and soft, I can say. But then I decided to do it in Turkish, also in English. I don't know why. I just wanted to challenge myself. And I announced like that. And there is a lot of Turkish and in English participants, they registered. But when we start the lessons, also, if I remember correctly, Lara was there.
Yes, it was great. It was great.
There was no Turkish participant. They didn't show up. And I found myself, just in English. And also after that, I thought that, why I challenged myself so hard. This is extra role for translator. I don't know why, but I did. But it happened totally different way. And then I did my last session in English. I mean, last five session in English, and also it was very well too. Thank you for asking.
Thank you very much, Pembegil, for sharing with us. And when you told your experience that it something popped up in my mind that perhaps I can raise in the group, and this question that minimum participants and maximum participants you are accepting to your listening hours, and what do you think is right for you, like how much it should be? And if this is under 3 or 4 participants, do you cancel the session or you still keep going with 2 or 3 participants that you have, if you ever had an experience like that?
I want to, I will tell about experience being in the group of PEP, PEM, sorry, PEM. The problem for me, I participated in 3 or 4 groups, so I have not so much experience in the listening hour. I like what I have, so I was by Bea, by Mina and Pembe and 1 group more, and I'm just waiting. I want to build up experience, and I was so curious about Pembe because she wants to do it in 2 languages, and I'm Russian, and I think maybe I also will do Russian and English together and something, or Russian and Dutch, I don't know. And then you know, I was so curious, and I came there just to see how it's going. And Pemba, it was what she did it in a very nice way. She put a beautiful out view of the Turkish beach. So I feel myself completely in Turkish and in Turkey, but there is no Turkish people. We were only with three, but we had a very nice experience. It's like, you know, wow, it's different. Wow, it was such a nice surprise. So I'm very glad that you didn't cancel this meeting, because we had very good story, deep story about the holidays, about nice dreams. It was very nice. So now I learned for myself, I will not cancel it even when there are only 2 participants. I don't know what I will do when one will come, but with 2 I will not cancel. It can be very beautiful. So that's all.
That's interesting, yeah.
I have experience as a participant when we were 2 and 3. And the guide continued, not just close the session, but continue doing this. And as a participant, sometimes I feel myself a little awkward because it was too close. Like maybe I felt some tension. And yeah, there was tension, and finally this group was closed.
Too close. Can you say? It's me. Can you say a few words about what too close means? Yeah, for you.
Because there was men, for example, when we were two, there was men and our guide, and I felt myself in too close circle. You know, it is more comfortable when there are a lot of people, less attention to myself, and yeah. So for me, it was quite awkward.
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation, probably. But from my point of view, sorry, Ksenia, you raised a hand. I'm so sorry I interrupted you. Maybe 3 is some like number which is like super good, like medium. But as Lara said, sometimes it depends. Even 2 can be okay, but I understand, Paulina, what are you saying? It can be tricky.
I wanted to say thank you, Paulina, for sharing that, because I've never thought about it. You know, sometimes 3 is a strange number to go out, to go on holidays, to have listening hours, whatever. So yeah, triangles are strange. But yeah, I never thought about that. But my experience as a participant in the festival, I always, as a guide, had the worry, what happens if they're less than 5? In the early stages of guiding, what do we do when they're less than 5? Because that's the rule. And I'm a good student. But then I realized mainly in the festivals, where people pop up, they don't show up, and a lot of guides, they remained with 3 people, not even 4 people. And at the last festival, I had a listening hour, and we were 2 people, 2 participants. And it happened that the stories were in a way, we were very connected as a culture, as background, as stories, and it felt very well. And then the question arises, do we let the participants share more than one story? Because we have an hour. So at this listening hour, since we had this hour, the question came up, you want to share something more? And I have stories all the time. The guy also had stories all the time, I suppose. So we shared more. But it is a question around when there are 2 people, what do we do? And I can understand that it can be awkward. or you can feel pressed to share more because like we have to fill the time or whatever. I think it depends. Yeah, there is not a wrong or right answer, but I can say that 3 can be awkward. Yeah, that was my experience.
Thank you, Xenia. There you raised your hand, so please.
Yes, in my experience, I had a listening hour with 2 participants, and I had listening hour with 8 participants. Yes, and it was acceptable because of the context or the aim, why that listening hour was held, and sometimes I cancel also when there are only 2 or 3 people signing up. And also I canceled sometimes because I if there is someone who I want to show listening hour proper listening hour experience, and especially if I think that that person could be an embarrass, if there is a too little group not feeling comfortable, then I preferred sometimes. Or if I want to, yeah, sometimes it was also about my energy and time. Do I want to offer that session and not 5 or 6 people came, and how to, and I know that there are others who I would like to offer, but this was not the good time. So there was this practical aspect too. And the 8 happened when it was an organization, and I couldn't really choose. There were 8 people who wanted to take part, and they had only that time. So okay, but it was too big, not just because of the time, but also as feeling of the group. And I also had experience when there were 2 participants, and it was just amazing. But that's also because of the context also, and their relation and the whole thing. And even one of them, and I really like that one of them didn't really speak English fluently. It was in English, and she was using just words like baby language, and I really like that because that was even more trance effect using just few words. I really appreciate it. So that's my experience.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you. Xenia, please.
I'm very interested about bigger groups. How it can be work, like how long do we keep the space? If the conductor, the guide can keep the stories in the mind, or, you know, can form a reprise of 8 people, I suppose. Yeah, we can do it, but yeah, I can understand when there is like an event or a specific cause that can happen, but I'm very curious.
Thank you,
Is it
Xenia. Maybe
or in general?
General, but
General.
yeah, you can share more since you had the experience, but also.
Well, I think almost everybody could share a story, basically, as I remember, but it was 2 years ago, I think. I think because I'm also a playbacker, to remember stories, it's already in my practice. So it was sometimes when participants are only 4 or 3, they share more stories, not just one, as you said also. So that was not a lot more stories. And yes, I think I was not allowed to have a longer session than an hour because they had other programs also. That was in the time of the quarantines when they organized a team day, and they had several different programs of for this organization members. And I have to think about that. I can't really recall it. I just know that it was very different for me as guy to hold the whole group when they were 8. It was so big, and of course the feeling to be so numbers, it's different.
Thank you, Bea. Mina, I saw your hand. Nike, I saw your hand. Fair, could you please, yeah, because you was on the same time with Ksenia, so could you please share what you wanted to share?
Do you want me to share? Well, I was thinking about, Bea talked about time. And in the beginning, when I did more listening hours, in the very first beginning, I wasn't so eager to keep the time frame of 1 hour. But later, I realized that this hour makes a beautiful sort of frame around the whole situation. So it helps make the listening hour, the whole thing, more aesthetic. You know, you have these, like you are playing music or something. You can't just make the song much longer than you expected. So for me, it was like this idea about listening hour. It actually also is in the name of the thing. Is important. You are very concentrated, really very concentrated in that hour, and it helps everybody, both the guide and the participants, to be there or aware, or what you can call it. So I like the frame of 1 hour.
Thank you, Nike.
Yeah.
Thank you. Would you like to add something? Or I saw that you raised hand before, so maybe you want to add something or not? Yeah. No. Okay. Sorry, my mistake. It's okay. I can share briefly about big group, because I had it in person, and there was about 14 children, so it was big group. Yeah, but I broke the rule all time. So so not all children tell the long story, but it was so powerful because it was a circle of refugees children, and when some child tell the story, another was like, oh my gosh, they were so surprised, so touched. And it is like I don't know, hotel shelter when they come from the different cities, from their home, when they escaped their home, and they never communicate during this time sitting in this hotel. And that was like their first time to meet each other. And after that, after we finished the session, even that not all teens speak, but everybody listen. And I saw that a lot of them make friendship. And even I saw them on the street walking like in another day. So it was very powerful, even if there is no space for each big story, but still they can create connection.
I believe it's not only about telling a story, is also being heard. So you feel like
Yeah, sure.
by the others you have been heard, and there is already a connection, just even they didn't tell their story. It's very powerful.
Were you able to get an image from each of them, Helena, when you had that big?
Yeah, because it was like not completely listening to our session, so we have like about 2.5 hours of the whole. So yeah, short image I got from them.
You have double listen hour.
Yeah, something like that.
like
Okay,
double express, something.
yeah. So maybe someone wants to add something related big group. If not, we will move forward because I saw that. Okay, Anastasia, I see you. And because then we will move to Mina's questions.
Thank you. Actually, I have no experience of listening hours, but we have silent sharing after the war started. It's amongst our professional community, and it's a project for psychologists who works after the war started, and we it's the space where we also have only 1 hour and just share our feelings, our thoughts, our how are we, and usually we have 8 people every time, but after some really bad situations there when it's only started, there were 30 or 25 people, and that was really huge groups, and we all need to be connected, to be with us, because half of our colleagues and me too were moved out of the country, and it felt like we are separated. And on these spaces, maybe 10 or 11 people were spoken, but it was very powerful for all the group because we felt it, we cried together, and we heard all these stories together, and that was very about connection and community, I think. And also when we have only 4 people, there are lots of space and time to share our stories. So I think it's just a really good thing to have this space. So yeah.
How do you call it, Anastasia?
Silent sharing. Silent sharing. It's like after the group, after the psychodramatic scene work, we have sharing of our feelings and thoughts. So it's just, it's not works, it's only sharing, and silent sharing, because after the war started goals, we all were in, we needed some silence, and we have these silent minutes about sorrow and everything. So yeah, it's silent sharing.
Can I ask, so you didn't talk to each other during that sharing at all?
No.
Just sitting.
We can be silent. Yeah, it's also in Zoom. So I remember some sharing, some of these groups when we just have no words. Like we just be in what we just were in silence because we really needed it. So I think that that's because of this dark times, but dark times rises good ideas, I think. I hope.
Is it also for security reasons? Or is it?
We just hope that Zoom is not under the, hearing, listening of everyone. But yes, it's only the space. It cannot be done in any other messengers.
Is somebody facilitating it, or kind of got
we change our roles. So firstly it was 4 or 5 people, and now we change it. Like for example, I will be on Thursday or on Friday the conductor of this group.
Yes, so the conductor. Yeah.
Thank you, Anastasia. So seems like even presence became a healing. Yeah. Okay, so we have 15, 20 minutes more. And in chat, we have 3 questions, and I feel the quite big questions from Mina. So Mina, please feel free to raise one which is more important for you so far.
Oh, okay. Let's go with the first one, like face to face, which you mentioned actually, like a kind of idea, if everyone is okay with that. I mean, if someone wants something else to be said, please tell that.
It's fine.
It's okay, we can go with face to face. Belle also mentioned this. So maybe you have some specific question, or just you want to hear experience of colleagues.
Just to hear experience, because I tried only online so far, and I'm very curious, and I'm planning to do it very soon. And just like everything that comes to your mind regarding face to face.
Yes, in the beginning, I couldn't find the idea about doing it in real time, because it was sort of designed for the internet and giving the internet a possibility of making a close, near group. But when Polina was telling about the refugee children, I see the great advantage that people can be befriended, yes, and get relationships through this, like I did with playback actually, which real playbackers accused me of not being playback, because I also changed the rules, and the group was so closely connected after that. It was boys from Afghanistan, and they often, didn't know each other at all, and they didn't talk about their experiences, but it connected them. And I can see it, the same thing happened in Polina's story. So if you have a sort of a scattered group and you want them to connect and to be with somebody also in real life, I think it's a great idea to do it live. Yeah.
I wanted to ask people who've done it face to face, because when I'm doing it online, I do take notes, which helps me in the reprise. And I wonder, when you do it in face to face, how do you manage with the reprise?
I can answer to that because lately I really do lots of face-to-face sessions, like every second or third week. And there I actually take notes too. Like I have a book and I just listen to them. And then if I need to really take a note, I just write down. And it seems very natural for them as well. They know I'm taking notes, but they have no idea that I'm gonna do reprise. So they just think I'm taking notes. And then at the end of the session, when I say thank you very much for your stories, and these are all gifts for me that you have given today, and I also have a little gift for you, and I wrote something, I don't know, sometimes it's a fairy tale, sometimes a poem, and sometimes a song. It always changes, depends of the energy of the group and the stories. Sometimes it's letter to someone or to themselves, like it always changes. And they are still surprised that I could create something from their stories in that short time, and even though I took notes. So yeah, I do take notes all the time.
And does your listening hour face-to-face go the same path as the online? Every sequence, I mean, is the same, right?
I don't know how you do it, but sometimes I add there some little warm-ups, especially if it's not on the weekend and people don't come from home. Usually in the evening when people come from work or different energies, it's quite necessary for me to do a little group warm-up. So verbally and also physically, they get ready to tell stories or share something, even the atmosphere just sitting there. And then I start the session. But each time it changes with the team as well.
So I can share also my experience, because there was situation when a girl asked me, what are you doing? Why are you taking the notes? Will you say our parents, or for what are you taking the notes? Because yeah, it's children and they are quite traumatized children, so they don't know what I'm doing. And I said, okay, guys, I have surprise for you, and we will create fairy tale together in the end of our session. And they were so surprised with what fairy tale? So how? Like they were so like there was reaction. Yeah, and even though they know that there will be something in the end, there was reaction from fairy tale was amazing. Like reprise, we called it reprise, but for children, yeah, they don't know what is reprise. They know fairy tale.
I will combine two questions: big groups, reprise, and taking notes. So 3 questions. So I had an experience shortly with a group. It was a special event for a birthday, and there were almost 10 people, and they knew each other before. It was a gift for one of friend of mine, that her family friends and family's daughter was also there. That we made surprise. Everybody could tell stories about her, so she appreciates it. And we only wanted her to listen because she's usually attending a lot. And this time I told her, please just listen and enjoy the time. And there, of course, because everybody also know each other, all the stories are definitely connected. All the things they say, it reminds another story to another one. And there I had a challenge because everybody knew each other. It was a quite sharp thing to separate it from a conversation to telling the story. Because if somebody says, we have been on a holiday, oh, yes, it was so fun. I say, please just, I want to remind the rules. I know we all know each other, but please let's keep the session the way it is. And then I was, of course, taking notes, but because it was a big group, around 10 people, and everybody wanted to tell at least 2 stories. So imagine the notes and the stories. And at the end, I felt like the stories were already too deep and too much, and lots of different memories with 10 people. Then the reprise was not that effective as it is normally, because I think the reprise was already during the session while they are telling the story. And even though the birthday girl, she felt so special when I read it because it was about her life, but I don't know if it was that effective for everybody they told the story. So this is something, of course, special case, but with a big group, too much stories, and if they know each other, it's kind of challenging. It was a challenge. Yeah. Mina, that can be also an idea for you, maybe if you can try with family and friends, something like this at the beginning, if you feel comfortable.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
But when I understood good, you had an aim to create story for her. It just it was working.
Dylan, I have a question. Did they prepare the stories before, or the stories come? Okay, so narrative reticulation was there. Yeah, like
yes. So her mother, she's 83 years old. She started the story how she was born, and then it all just went to her father, and then the daughter, and then ex-husband, and the friendships, and like really a whole story about her, like no privacy anymore. Everything was there. And it was so good because she started crying with each story that she remember. Oh yes, I forgot that moment, and she really appreciate because she's a strong woman and she helped a lot of people. She has good networking and she connect a lot of people in Switzerland, and she helped a lot of people. And it was that moment that she had to hear what she has done for these people, and it was so powerful. And even the mother-daughter relationship from her mother to herself and from her to her daughter. This was like 3 generations next to each other, telling stories, and perhaps they never thought that they know each other that well. So it's so special, really. And I really like doing it, but for the spirit of listening hour, reprise should be for everybody. But that one was, I think, only for the birthday girl. This is how I felt. Maybe they didn't, but this is the feeling I still have.
It's very interesting to listen to. And I think in this room we are a lot of psychologists, and I get the idea by here you're telling that you could work with a family, and they all tell, you know, a story, and then you put it together to in the reprise to something, making, yes, a new perspective on whatever it was about. Quite interesting to try, I think. You know, an aesthetic view on all these things that it can be quite boring to sit and talk with the family about, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always knew that the birthday girl, she always thought her daughter thinks that she's too strong woman, but not emotional mother. She always thought she was always tough on daughter because she didn't want her daughter faces the same problem in the future, so she grows up as a strong girl. But actually the daughter was a lot aware of what mother went through to grow her that way, and she really understood all the challenges she went through, and she's on an age that she knows mother did a lot for her, and she appreciates that. And as soon as she heard that, she started crying, because from the previous listening hour sessions, I knew that she always thought her daughter doesn't love her. And that moment she heard that directly from the daughter, that how much she loves her and how much she understands her and feels her. And there was a connection between grandmother, mother, and the daughter. So
very
nice.
interesting. Yeah, so nice. Yeah, thank you. Good idea. Yeah.
I had this experience with my 3 cousins in Canada and my sister in the South Island of New Zealand. And one of my cousins and my sister and the wife of one of the cousins are people who talk a lot. And so I knew it was a real big challenge to do listening hour with them because of the principle of receiving. And so when I did it with Bea talked about, I loved this thing of these 3 things of telling about our lives, listening, and silence. And I kind of repeated that thing of the silence. And in fact, what happened was those women who talk a lot, I could see the beginning of the hour was a challenge for them to not, they kind of had an impulse to interrupt or confirm or comment. But as the time went on, it's like everything settled. And one of the thing that my sister, who talks a lot, talked about was our ancestor 3 generations back, who was the ancestor of all of us there. And she had found out things about him. So it wasn't in a way a personal story, yet it was very personal. And she commented afterwards to me in an email how amazing it was for her to just speak and be heard without interruption. And she said, I think I have to listen more than I talk. And it was so moving that this experience was so new, and she was taking it sort of into her life. It was very beautiful, confirming the power, I think, of the form.
Yeah. Nice.
Can I want to, what you mentioned, Faye, it's just what I'm impressed, because I think each session, when you're doing it, listening hour, you're becoming aware that listening is very important. It's make everybody aware and still. So, oh, I can hear more when I'm listening. Huh? I can hear more. It just, yeah. Thank you for your story. It's very nice. Very, yeah.
I have to say I agree with you, Lara, but not just important, but it's also very hard to only listen.
Very high?
Hard.
Difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, but in the we are managing this process, and when you're managing, then everybody is becoming aware of it. It's just, I think, yeah, it's just the essential of this listening hour. Yeah, and when you reach it, it's just like opening of your ear, not of eye, but of your ear.
Thank you, Lara. Thank you, Faye, for sharing this important part of listening. Yeah, there, I see your hand. Please.
Yes, I think for me was doing in-person listening hour meant big challenge with this, how to create this atmosphere when silence is also part of the connection, not to talk all the time or interrupt as we normally socialized how to we have to behave, but how we used to, and also not to freeze and stay in silence and not to dare to not daring to say something. And when I am in the same room, it's very different. It's there, and how to make a good atmosphere and a good balance with. The other thing was very different to be to work with the space, using the space, where to sit down, how to sit down, when to get up, how to move, shall we dance, or how to create that, or there was also one occasion when we used props because we were in the school with the youth group, with the playback youth group. So yes. And then also when I do the reprise, that was already a different, I needed to create a bit different space for myself. You know, when like the cat, and the cat finds its place to get there somehow. So I really had this difference, big difference compared to online.
You stand up when you did the reprise?
I think I stood up, yes, and I made a circle somehow, and then I sit back again. I had to do some kind of movements. Yes.
And were the people like sitting in the circle, or?
Yes, we were sitting in a circle, but at when we did the warm up, we stood up, and yes, we used the whole space to dance and move, and yes, I think they sat back to the same chair or armchair where they were before. Yes. So yeah. Sometimes I just felt I had to stand up, and yes, that was a space where we could have tea or drink water, and then you could stand up to have a tea or water. And I think I used it to just to show that you can stand up, and not, you don't have to sit, just only if you want to.
Interesting. It's very interesting. You know, I feel myself in case if guides start walking around, it might be interesting experience.
I made a circle around my own chair or armchair. I was not walking around, but yes, I just want to say it's not concrete choreography, but I started to use the space as soon as I was in the space, in the room. Yes.
Great, thank you, for sharing. So we have just 3 minutes more 2-3 minutes more. Maybe someone wants to share something related to the topic, or we will go to the closing circle. How do you feel?
I am interested in the question of how to promote, which was one of the questions I think Mina had. Yeah,
Promotion.
how to promote. Maybe that's for next time.
Yeah, we can even create some panel discussion or some kind of workshop on this question, because it's very important, and I feel that it is needed for everyone promoting the session. And thank you, Mina, for raising such big questions. So each of them we can dedicate the whole event, you know.
Yeah.
Great. So I propose maybe to go to the closing part. Please, if it's okay for you, we can say how do you feel yourself right now, and bridge for the future, maybe what you will take for tomorrow from this event. Maybe, you know, so you understand today something that you will take in tomorrow.
Well, I'm feeling great. I feel hopeful and excited, and it encourages me to really try my first face-to-face one. I'm really looking forward to it. And I have to finish my assignments because we have our finishing of our next training with Jonathan on Friday. So I've got to do some work now. That's me. Okay, Lara, and how about you now?
You're asking me? Oh, no, thank you. It's very, I'm inspired through all of, yeah. And you know what came to my mind? We were talking about connection with each other and also with the groups, which we going about listening hour. But I think it's even more than connection. It's like belonging to the community, to the small group. And also even when it's once, it's belonging, and it's make you quiet, because now in this time, belonging is very important. So I'm very happy that these community meetings are coming. I'm feeling very happy with this. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lara. And please give the ball to another person.
Bea.
Thank you. I just want to repeat what you said, Lara. I'm very grateful and happy to be here and to hear from all of you. It means a lot. Thank you so much. And I pass the ball to Nike.
Thank you. Well, I feel very good, and also I think it's the feeling of belonging that has been much greater today. We have spoken very freely about different possibilities, and it has loosened my mind, so I can think of what could I do. And also I turned down a part of my work which I've done for the health system here 1st of December. So I look forward to being able to do more creative things than one-to-one, as we also talked about. So I'm light at heart after this meeting. I'm very happy. Yeah. And Pembe?
Thank you. This is my second coffee break session, and I love these meetings. I'm learning and inspiring your experience. I'm very happy for this 1 hour. Thank you. And Mina?
Thank you. After this coffee break, I feel enthusiastic, and also the emotion and the feeling of belonging is very, very nice and cozy. So I'm very happy and thankful for this 1 hour we shared together. And passing my ball to Paulina.
Okay. Yeah. So right now I have phone. Both became a phone. I feel myself grateful, and yeah, it's like everybody said, but I feel connection. and I feel importance of what we are doing. And you know, in my country, there is maybe less than 20 people who does the session, and we are not so connected. And it is so important being here and feel all of you. So, oh, it's something warm inside of me. Thank you very much. And yeah, I will take with me for the future. I like the Dylan sharing about events for those day or something like that, or sessions with relatives. I want to try. Yeah, thank you. So I give the ball to Ksenia.
Ooh, well, I want to start from seeing Bea here. I remember the workshop on the festival, Vision of Listening Hour. And it feels very nice to be here, feeling that there is a vision. There is all these inspiring ideas and people doing this and that. And maybe the vision is the person to person, but it feels very heartwarming to feel that there is something for the future and there is a vision from different people. And I was very inspired listening to all these. I could fantasize listening now in a family table with the food and all these stories. Yeah, and also I'll take with me the idea of using the space when we are in a face-to-face listening hour. I've never tried, but yeah, thank you so much. I'm starting something new. I'll share it with you next time. And it's very inspiring to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Paulina, very much, and all of you.
Throwing the ball.
Ksenia, please throw the ball.
Yes, Dylan.
Thank you. Yeah, I really feel so good and not tired anymore after work. It's really good that we have shared, and we have shared our experience and also the feelings of today, that I see everybody has beautiful eyes looking into each other and they are smiling. It's just positive, very positive. And it's very also nice to see, of course, Bea today here, that I know usually she's busy, she cannot always make it, and it's so precious to see her here today with us. I hope we had longer time to ask more questions to each other, because I think it's brainstorming, and then as soon as we start talking about it, it just, the questions comes and go. But this is also very good for me, Paulina and Xenia, because we are in the cultural committee, that we also want to do more coffee breaks and panels about that. And definitely the next one can be Mina's question, that how to promote it, and there perhaps we can exchange more ideas together, and maybe there will be others who are interested or they have already experience with marketing kind of things, because it's also a big part of promoting. And what I'm taking today with me is that two things actually. One, the idea, if I do online, that I can use background as Pembegül did, different countries, different atmosphere, because I think online that will be a good thing to create the atmosphere in the room. This is something very good for me that I will definitely try. And the second thing is that Bea did is using space while doing the reprising part, because usually I'm sitting still while I'm giving them back, and maybe I can be all more physical, and my words can be also in actions. That I will try next time. I think that will be then more powerful, and for them, and also for me to express my emotions and feelings at that moment. That I will try. And I throw my ball to Istanbul, Anastasia.
Teşekkürler. Thank you very much. Okay. It was very warm to me to be with you, to be with group. I think that I know only two people, knew only two people from here, and it was very I don't know, fruitful and in something that enriched me, my soul, because it's about connection, about I don't know, depth and warmth, and it's really something very human, you know. And what I'm taking with me in the future, I think that it's power of listening, and I think that it's very important for nowadays, and for me especially. And this wonderful thing, the personal group for birthday party, I think that's a really cool idea. And where the birthday boy or birthday girl just listen, storytelling about his life. It's amazing idea, you know. Thank you very much for it. It's also very
It's already promoting.
yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Anastasia, throw the ball. I assume
I don't remember who
He did.
who
Everybody
didn't
talked.
spoke. Yeah,
oh, okay.
I think yes.
Okay. So we will throw the ball to the window.
To the Bosphorus, yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, and I throw to the Black Sea. Okay, great. Thank you very much for coming. It was very enjoyable to be together this hour and 20 minutes. Hope you will come to the next event, and wish you good luck with your project, with your listening hour sessions. And I'm happy to know and live and know that we are connected.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you don't have the date yet, haven't you?
We will announce next week. Yeah, we don't have a date so far, but we will announce.
That's fine. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.